Adani Ports, very surprising numbers, good numbers there, Suyash. Let's quickly pull those numbers up.
So Shweta, the numbers were ahead of the street's expectations. Now Adani Ports reported the net profit surged about 82.6%, whereas revenue was up about 23.5% on a year-on-year basis. Now, one of the things that contributed to such a good push in the revenue numbers was the positive impact from additional revenue generated from fresh acquisitions. Now, if you remember earlier in the year, Adani had paid 1.2 billion to acquire Haifa port, the second largest port in Israel. So that has positively contributed to the revenue figures and the profit figures. And if we see the EBITDA numbers, the margin jumped about 19%. So 1900 basis points jump in the margins on the back of fresh acquisitions for Adani Ports.
All right, Ambareesh, I'm looking at the overall Adani story here, and I'm looking at all the results that have come out. It seems worst is over for Adani, and the doubts, the fears around Hindenburg, they seems to have somewhat put to rest by brilliant numbers that the group has reported.
Absolutely, because I think, as far as the financials are concerned, they seem to be back on track for the Adani Group. Even for Adani Ports, I think they have clearly reported the highest ever quarterly port cargo volumes. I think there's a 12% jump Y on Y. And if you look at the market share of Adani Ports, it's about 26% for this quarter, which is again a 200 basis points increase. So overall, this company is doing extremely well. The group is back on track. But at the same time, we should remember that the valuations are not really too cheap. Because again, the sort of a move which we have seen in the last 4 months, they are back to those slightly expensive levels, but then liquidity is chasing them, so the stocks can go up some more from there.
And Shweta, also in this particular quarter, Adani Ports has reported the highest ever quarterly jump in cargo volumes, in EBITDA, in revenue, and this was despite the fact that Biparjoy cyclone affected the port business of the company, and almost 50% of the capacity was affected for about 6 days. So despite that, we are seeing a good set of numbers coming out.
So good freight movement?
Good freight movement, good jump in cargo volumes, as Ambareesh also mentioned, a 12% year-on-year jump in the container segment also grew by about 15%.
All right. What's your view on Adani stock at the moment, Ambareesh?
No, like I said, because there's a decent amount of liquidity chasing these stocks, and with the institutional interest, there is a possibility that we could see these stocks going up at least either 5 to 8% more from the current levels. But like I said, remember, the stocks are not cheap. Adani Group stocks are not cheap.
Adani Group stocks are definitely not cheap.